I'm Elaine Harding. Welcome to my blog at stampwithelaine.com. Today I have a fun fold card for you. It's a faux gatefold card. So this is the gatefold mechanism, but there are 3 panels, and this one on the right slots behind the front square panel, which is attached to the top and the bottom of these 2 panels on the left of the gatefold. So it slides in like that, and if you can see it properly, it's this panel that keeps the card shut. It's deceptively easy to do, so let's get started. I'm using the Sweet Gingerbread photopolymer stamp set. These are currently in the last chance list, so they're sold separately at quite a large discount. I think the Sweet Gingerbread has been reduced from £17 to £6.80, 60% discount, and same with the dies. The dies are reduced from £31 to £12.40, also at 60% discount. I'm not sure if they're still available at the moment, because once the last chance list comes up, things go very quickly. The other dies I'm using are the stitched rectangle dies. This is the one I'm going to be using. When you have a lot of small dies that you want to die cut, I covered this in one of my Top Tip Tuesday slots. I just put all my small dies on a piece of Glad press and seal, and then I can pick all the dies up in one go, and I don't have to reposition it on the cardstock every time I need to die cut something. So I just put the whole lot down here, cutting edge face down, run it through the machine, and I have loads and loads of blanks. So originally I stamped images onto a piece of cardstock like that. Then I die cut them all out, so this becomes my template. I've left the stamps in the same position so that when I take the blanks out, then I put painter's tape on the back to cover up the apertures. This is my little packet of gingerbread blanks. I pick up what I need, so I need a door and 2 windows, 2 trees and a wreath. Then I pop it back in the bag. I'm not going to be needing the jelly tots or the lollipop, so I'm going to put those back, and the ones that I need to stamp on I then pop underneath so I don't lose those, because you need to put them back in these spaces when you store your template. So I'm just going to insert my gingerbread house, which I've pre-die cut in Pool Party. Set aside the roof, put one of the trees in, windows. Also need to die cut the fence, and I die cut the fence from the glimmer paper. This comes in a pack of 6 sheets, 2 each of 3 colours, and that's in Evening Evergreen, Very Vanilla and the gold. So this is the gold, and I've also put an adhesive sheet behind the gold foil before I die cut it, so it's easier to glue. I die cut one in Pool Party and also the roof line, and from the crumb cake you need to cut out a path. There's a bit of embossing here, so I've used the Embossing Editions toolkit and white embossing powder with Versamark ink. The inks I'm using are So Saffron, Crumb Cake and Real Red, also Garden Green and Pool Party. I nearly forgot. So there's 5 colours altogether: So Saffron, Crumb Cake, Real Red, Garden Green and Pool Party. Now we're going to run through the cardstock you need. So this is basic white, and this is going to be your faux gatefold mechanism. So that measures 5¼ by 11 inches, and in metric that will be 13.5 by 28 centimeters. With the long side at the top, you score at 1¾ inches and 3½ inches. Rotate it 180 degrees and score the other end at the same mark, so 1¾ inches and 3½ inches, and in metric that will be 4.5 and 9 centimeters. Rotate it 180 and score again at 4.5 and 9 centimeters. Take your bone folder and on the second score line in, fold it into a mountain fold and this one into a valley fold on the outer panel. Okay, second score line in, mountain fold, and the outer one into a valley fold, valley, mountain. So that's your gatefold mechanism. Then you want 3 panels of pool party, and this has been cut at 1¾ inches by 4 inches, so all 3 are the same, and in metric that will be 4.5 by 10 centimeters. Then you want to cut 3 pieces of designer series paper, and this is 1/8 inch smaller, so this will be 1 5/8 by 3 7/8, and in metric that will be 4 centimeters by 9.5 centimeters. So we're going to glue 2 of them, the top and the bottom, in the same pattern, and then we'll flip this over and glue the middle panel on the flip side of the Sweetest Christmas paper. So I've applied adhesive to the underside, and let's glue that onto our panels. So I need a sponge mat underneath, and I'm going to take the plate and ink up the sentiment from our home to yours, and I'm doing it this way because I want to center it. Make sure that that's straight and then stamp. Now I could take it off to make my life easier, but I just set the stamp up already and I don't want to mess it up for some other cards, so I think I'll just do that. And I'll add a little heart there, just freehand. Now I'm going to adhere these pieces on it. Now these 2 panels with this pattern will be adhered to the left side of the gatefold and this one to the right. So I'm just going to use that as a gauge as to where to put my adhesive. Let's pan that out so it doesn't interfere. One bit of adhesive there, adhesive here, and on the top here. Pop that in and make sure that it is flush with the edges, like so. Now we want to glue this panel to this side, so I'm going to pop the adhesive on this side, and it's this end that we need. Pop that down, have it flush, butt it up to that. Now we want this on this side, so we don't need that panel. We know how much adhesive and where to put on it, so it's this end that needs gluing. Pop that down, make sure it's flush. And there's your gatefold. Now you need the card front. This measures 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, and in metric that will be 8 centimeters by 8 centimeters, and then this goes on top, and this measures 3 by 3. I wouldn't recommend gluing this yet because we need to put the fence on in between the house, and you need to trim the fence off, so leave that till last. So now we want to white emboss the house, so I'm putting some embossing powder on there to prevent static. Ink it up with Versamark ink and stamp. Carefully peel this off, but don't touch where it's been stamped. You can hold it by the chimney. Sprinkle it with embossing powder. And then heat set it. Now once it's heat embossed, it's still wet, so it needs to cool off and dry and set. So set that aside. I'm going to stamp Have a Sweet Christmas in Pool Party ink. I'll die cut that off camera. And now I've die cut that, I shall glue it in the centre of this middle panel. Then you need a real red mat which glues on the back of this. So this is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and in metric that's 10.5 by 14 centimeters. This is what will give your card stability, so put a line of glue there. And that's what it looks like. Now we want to cut the path. I think I might put a bit of adhesive sheet on the back because it will make it easier to glue. And I'll do that off camera and I'll be back. I'm going to glue my house down first. Then it will give me an idea where to put the fence. Centre that on there. So I've removed the backing sheet from there, and I'm just going to stick that on. Now I'm going to cut 3 because that will give me room for error. Remove the backing tape, butt that up to the house, trim off the excess, do the same for the other side. And I've still got some left for another project. The other item I need is this Snowfall Accents puff paint. It has to be heat set. So the next thing I'll do, glue this roof line onto the gingerbread house. And then I can apply my puff paint, and while I'm waiting for that to set, I can oh gosh, I forgot to say, you've got to squeeze gently. Help. Squeeze very gently. I forgot. And you don't want too much because it takes longer then for it to puff up, and it also takes longer for it to dry. And I'm just going to put an L shape on there for the chimney. Now bring in my stamp apparatus. I've got my template. I'm going to stamp the trees in garden green. Or did I use mint macaron? Maybe I've chosen the wrong colour. Never mind. We'll do it in garden green. Now I'm going to stamp the wreath, but I'm just going to take the green berries off, stamp it, then clean the stamp. Remember to dab at it and not to rub, because then it might displace the photopolymer stamps. And then stamp again. I'm swapping ink pads and I'm stamping the windows. Change ink pads again, and this time I want to stamp the door in crumb cake. So that's all my stamping done. I can adhere that to my house. So I'm just going to apply adhesive in the middle of the windows. I'll put 3 glue dots on the back of the tree, and I'm just going to pop that on either side of the house. And voila, it's ready to glue onto the back of this card. Then you put dimensionals on just the 4 corners. Bring the card back, remove the backing tape, make sure it's equidistant on both sides and from top to bottom and bottom to top. Okay, so there's your gatefold card. So that's the card finished. I put a wreath on this one and a heart on that one, so that's what's different. So I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial, and I'll be back with more inspiration next time. All the links to the supplies are below this video in the Show More section. You can also find me on Facebook, Pinterest or Instagram. I'll put a link to the blog post below, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.